Hi everyone, I hope you're having a great weekend. Today I wanted to share with you some more prehistory books, specifically when it comes to Paleolithic archaeology, although some of these are more recent prehistory as well. Last week I filmed a video where I shared with you some Paleolithic archaeology and paleoanthropology book recommendations, and I'm doing this again. Firstly, because this year is Historathon 2023, an event created by Vin over at Revenant Reads and co-hosted by myself and the other lovely individuals whose channels I will leave in the chat below. The first quarter, from January to March, we will be focusing on prehistory to 500 AD. And I'm making these videos for this event, but also because I think prehistory is a time period that doesn't get a lot of love, and I don't think that's necessarily because people don't find it fascinating. I think that's mainly because there isn't a lot of books out there available to a general audience for this time period, whether it be Paleolithic archaeology, the Mesolithic, recent prehistory, what have you. So I'm sharing these books with you, hopefully to spark some interest and maybe get some of you reading these books or starting some conversations going. So anyways, the first one that I'll show you, just starting somewhat chronologically, starting with the earliest here. This is by Clive Finlayson, called The Smart Neanderthals. This was written in 2019, and to give you a bit of background, Clive Finlayson and his family, they live in Gibraltar. They work at a well-known set of caves there that were occupied by Neanderthals. And something else to know about the Finlaysons is that they're bird enthusiasts, which dovetails, pardon the pun, with their research when it comes to Neanderthals, because there's a lot of artifactual evidence to suggest that Neanderthals were manufacturing bird bones for non-alimentary or non-nutritional purposes all across Europe. There's evidence to suggest that they were manufacturing for jewelry, tools, and Clive uses a lot of his knowledge in this, within this realm, just to talk about Neanderthal cognition and how they really were, just as advanced, just as intelligent as humans, contemporaneous humans. So yeah. This is a good book. Another one that he wrote, which is on my shelf but is a bit older, is The Humans Who Went Extinct. Like I say, this is a bit older. There's a lot of new theories and a lot more evidence and about Neanderthal extinction. But if you're wanting to read a book that gets you into the topic, this might be a good one for you as well. So moving swiftly on. One of the other books, this is a chunker, admittedly, but this is a really comprehensive book. This is by Steve Myvin, called After the Ice, and this looks at human history between 20,000 years ago to 5,000 years ago, so looking at the end of the Paleolithic, throughout the Mesolithic to the Neolithic, through the Epipaleolithic. I'm just throwing out words here, which probably won't make much sense to you, but it's really comprehensive geographically and throughout this time period, looking at the archaeological evidence available, what people were doing, the transition from hunting and gathering to sedentism and agriculture in certain areas. Again, Steve Myvin, like Finlayson, is someone whose research I'm familiar with. They both have a lot of peer-reviewed publications in journals that I'm familiar with, which is why I'm recommending these authors. I'm not going to recommend a book when it comes to Paleolithic archaeology from anyone whose work I'm not familiar with, academically at least. And there is one paper that I have to mention. This is a tangent, but I'm going to mention it anyways. So, Mythen and Cohn had a paper that came out at the turn of the millennia. It wasn't called this, but what we refer to it as the sexy hand axe theory in college. And it's a great paper and an entertaining paper, though it garnered a lot of criticism. Looking at Australian hand axes. So Australian hand axes are these like teardrop shaped hand axes from around 1.5 million years ago, until a bit more recently. And they ask, why are they so prolific in the archaeological record? Why do some of them look like they haven't been retouched much? So basically just made and then discarded. Why are they so perfectly symmetrical? And they basically say, oh, well, it must confer some sort of advantage when it comes to sexual selection. So yeah, hence the name Sexy Hand Axe Theory, and I had to mention that in the same breath as this book because what a fantastic paper. But anyways, yes, this book is very comprehensive, and it is, professional and serious. And just have a look at the cover here. This is a beautiful necklace from the Natufian, which was in the Middle East around 12,000 years ago. This is made of bone and shell, just gorgeous. So yeah, here's another book to get you started for the Prehistory Starter Kit. Another one, while this isn't just exclusively prehistory, I'm putting it in this camp or this collection of books because there is a lot of prehistory in this book. It's a slim volume. It's a nice little bit of introductory evidence to paleogenetics. We're using the genome to uncover human migration in the past, and it's similar somewhat to the book I mentioned last week, The World Before Us. While the World Before Us looks at many different new techniques for in the scientific field when it comes to uncovering the past, this mainly focuses on paleogenetics and looks at human migrations in prehistory, which is why I'm mentioning it. This is by Johannes Krauss and Thomas Trapp. This is recent as well. I think it came out just before COVID-19, and then after COVID-19 hit, they republished the intro. So yeah. Moving on, this is a book that I finished recently, December last year, and I enjoyed it. This is by James C. Scott, and it's called Against the Grain. And I'm actually not familiar with him or this particular time period as much as I am older parts of prehistory when it comes to the Paleolithic. But I did enjoy this. So as the name suggests, he's going against the traditional narrative when it comes to humans adopting agriculture and state society. He suggests that the narrative is that humans did this readily. Whereas what he's saying is actually the archaeological evidence shows that there's like at least 3 millennia, 4 millennia, 5 millennia, I can't remember. It's quite a long time between when we start dabbling in horticulture and agriculture and domesticates to when we actually settle down, or at least people in the Middle East settle down and adopt state society. And he presents the various different reasons why state society wasn't all that peachy. So I liked that. I liked this book. That's worth mentioning. And then one of the books that I will be reading this quarter, that is January to March, although it isn't prehistory, I'm going to mention it here anyways because I don't read a lot of ancient history, and I hope to rectify that. I've got this on my shelf. I've had it on my shelf for a while, and this is a perfect time to read it. This is called Persian Fire by Tom Holland. So this will be me learning about the Persians, the Athenians, the Spartans around the 5th millennia. The 5th century BC. Pardon pardon me. So yeah, anyways, those are another set of prehistory books. Hopefully you like these. Maybe some of you might pick one of these books up. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and have a great weekend, everyone. Bye for now.